Hey folks, thank you once again. Hope you enjoyed my first reaction video. My thoughts on the movie The Black Phone 2. Let's go for watch my first reaction video. What were my first thoughts? First impression of the movie, what I thought of it. You don't know my opinion on the movie? It's in the last video. Anyway, guys, as y'all know here on my YouTube channel, remember my name is Levi McNally, and the channel's name is Levi McNally 983 with a mass profile picture on it. So make sure to stay subbed to this one. Thank you guys for the 370 subs. We're getting close to 400, but when I get to 500, I definitely am thinking about doing a Q&A probably for that. We'll get to there. But anyway, um, as y'all should know, I've been doing a superhero marathon on my channel. If y'all watched my 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, the channel update video I did showing off some movies I got from Second and Charles and the superhero shows that I was going to talk about. If you want to watch more of that, but anyway, guys, I will be talking about some of the Arrowverse TV shows. Now, I talked about The Flash and Supergirl, and now I'm starting with the first show that started it all. You know, you know, yeah, talking about the Arrowverse. Yeah. The Flash with Grant Gustin. I talked about that on my last channel. I will add those videos in eventually. Yeah, you know. And of course, I'm talking about the first show that came out. This was the first Arrow Sure. Can I freaking talk? Arrowverse show. This was the first one, and that came out 2012. That was the same year I graduated high school. Yeah, this show aired about in October 10th, 2012. Yeah, wow. So I had an anniversary this month. So, what, 13 years this show? 14 nearly? Well, because I graduated high school in the same year, but that was in May. And this came out in October. This was the first of the Arrowverse show. And like I said, it was developed, created by Greg Berlanti, Mark Millar, and it's based on DC comic characters, the DC comic character Green Arrow. And I'm talking about the TV series Arrow. I have all 8 seasons of the show. Well, I just recently bought season 8. All 8 seasons of the show, which I'm going to be giving my thoughts and favorite episodes. Now, guys, those videos are long. Yes, they will be. I'll do that right now. But I think it would take a lot longer if I did a review for each episode of each season. Because I think not the last season, but quite a bit of episodes have like 22 something episodes on all the seasons. Except season 8. I think season 8 has 12, but I'm not going to sit here and review all the episodes. What I do, I make a list. See? Now, last year I talked about the show Justice League. Oh, and this is my TV show collection, part 34, Arrow. I'll put it in the title. You see, I did Arrow season 1 right there. What I'm going to do is write down my favorite episodes, or ones that I thought were okay, or ones I didn't like, for each season of the show, but of course starting with season 1. But in this video, I just want to say that I do like the show. I do think it started off great, but like with any Arrow shows, the show eventually, some point, just starts to go downhill. I think for some people, Arrow started to go downhill in season 4. For me, it was season 5. But I'll get to why and thoughts later. So let's just start out without. Green Arrow is a DC Comics character. Yes. And his real name is Oliver Queen. Yeah. He develops a range of trick arrows too in the comics, like very special functions such as a glue, explosive tipped, cracking, grappling hook, flash grenade, tear gas, and even krypton arrows for use in range, like if he has to fight against Superman or something. Yeah. He's a highly skilled martial artist, master archer and marksman, expert acrobat. Yeah. Green Arrow first appeared along with Speedy in issue book common number 73, November 1941 is when Green Arrow first showed up in the comic books. This is how he originally appeared. Yeah, he looks like Robin Hood a little bit. Yeah. For some current characters, he's got like Roy Hopper, Arsenal, or Speedy, I guess in the comics, Black Canary, Connor Hawk. Yeah, like I said, Roy Hopper. He's got Sarah Lance, White Canary, who's the White Canary. Uh, you have Mr. Terrific, Wild Dog, Fragman. Artemis, and Black Canary. Who is his allies? As Justice League members, he's along with Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. Yeah. For enemies, he's got enemies like Merlin, Count Vertigo, China White, Clock King. I think Ra's al Ghul, who's a Batman villain, but is also a Green Arrow villain. And yes, they do have the character in the third season as well. I'm talking about Ra's al Ghul, yeah. Cupid Brick, and of course Destro, which they do add in the show. They add one of these characters in the TV show. In Smallville, he's played by Justin Hartley. Uh, yeah. Of course, his real name is Oliver Jonas Queen, or Oliver Queen. He's the owner of Queen Industries, and instead of Gotham City, it's Star City. He uses his position to hide the fact that he's Green Arrow, partially inspired by Robin Hood. Green Arrow, he uses skills to fight crime, and he has a sense of humor too, as well as alongside other superheroes in the Justice League. He's a martial artist. And I do think they play it in the comics where Oliver gets trapped on an island for 5 years, and this island messes him up. Well, not messes him up, but it changes him as a person, and it what inspires him to become Green Arrow. Heavily, especially in this show, they impact on that. In this show, you get flashbacks and stuff. Yeah, but for the production of the show, let's see. I'm sure they were also inspired by Smallville, because Smallville had 10 seasons. That ended 2011. This came out the next year, in October. The idea for a Green Arrow TV series was first discussed during the sixth season of Smallville, with talk of spinning off Justin Hartley's portrayal of the character into his own series. Hartley, though, however, refused to enter the idea. Entertain the idea, feeling it was his duty to respect what Smallville had accomplished in 5 seasons, and not steal the spotlight, because there was no talk of a spinoff after his 2 appearances. According to Hartley, talking as far as the spinoff idea ever got, a spinoff series in which Oliver led the Justice League made it to early development. The series was to have been helmed by Stephen D. Knight, who would later go on to showrunner for the first season of Marvel's Daredevil. Following Smallville's conclusion, the CW prepared a new series centered around the character Green Arrow. Andrew Kensberg, Greg Palumbo, and Mark Gerber were announced to develop the series. Andrew Gerber, he also co-created the other Arrowverse shows, not just Arrow, but The Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, yeah, and worked on some movies too, and the Justice League cartoon. He worked on that too, and Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Greg Blunden, let's see, he worked on television shows like Dawson's Creek, Brothers and Sisters. He was a writer on the Green Lantern movie, which I do like Ryan Reynolds, but that's just me. He was a producer on the Green Lantern animated movie Emerald Knights, Deathstroke, Ice and Dragons, another DC movie, Free Guy, other television shows. Let's see. Oh yeah, he worked on The Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, and Superman and Lois as well. Mark Gunnerberg. He's best known for the creative television series Eli Stone, and working also on Legends of Tomorrow. DC Legends of Tomorrow, sorry, starring Brandon Routh. Yeah. Where he worked on the anime show Vixen. It's a web series which I've never seen. I would like to check it out maybe. And Legends of Tomorrow, he worked on that too. And Supergirl as well. He worked on the Green Lantern 2011 movie. So these guys have worked with DC before. Yeah. A week later, well, Greg Berlanti and Mark Gunberg, they worked with DC before this show came out. Andrew Kenneth, I guess he kind of came in a little later. And they were inspired by this was the time when you had Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. Well, it ended that year in July because Dark Knight Rises came out, I think, in July. I hate that movie, but despite that, they were inspired by that show. Show. They were inspired by this movie, so they changed the tone of it a little bit to make it darker, to make it more realistic, more grounded, which I was fine with. I think that was interesting to do with the Green Arrow character because Green Arrow has never had his own movie. I mean, he's got the DC Showcase, which I did review on my channel earlier this year. You know, but a week later, though, the series was ordered for a pilot, with David Nutter signed to direct. Nutter also directed the pilot for Smallville, yeah, which was 2001, I think. Yeah, 2001. Sorry. Yeah. He also worked on the TV series Supernatural, and Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles, the Sleepwalker TV series, Roswell, Dark Angel, Tarzan. Okay, anyway, back to the production. When developing the series, the producer Mark Glenitz expressed that their creative team wanted to chart their own course with their own destiny and avoid any direction connections to Smallville. This was the continuation with Hartley's of the character. They optioned to cast a new actor in the role and series' own separate continuity. At the end of the same month, Stephen Amell was cast as the role of Oliver Queen. The series does not intentionally feature superpowered heroes and villains. This decision was, in part, based on the executive's desire to take a realistic look at the characters in their universe. And like I said, when they make it more darker and realistic, they got inspired by Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. The series skyline shots used a combination of footage from Germany, Central City, Philadelphia, Baltimore. It was given a full season on October 22nd, 2012. Stephen Amell says, I think the idea is to, not all the time, and not what they said regularly, but I think it's the critical sort of how he went from the person that he was when he left the island, which seemed different. He was spoiled. He's talking about his character here. He's spoiled. He's entitled. He's a bit of a jerk. And he comes up with something very, very different. So we're going to explore how he gets there. The change for Oliver, you know. For the first 5 seasons, Arrow features two storylines, one in the present and the other shown in flashback, during Oliver's time on the island 5 years before his rescue. These flashbacks are used to illustrate how Oliver transformed into the man that returns to Starling City. Or Star City, same thing, but anyway. Going for the island flashbacks takes place in Vancouver's park area near beachfront homes. Much planning is required to keep the buildings out of the camera frame. Stephen Amell has to wear a wig, and the lake has to be changed. There's a lot. It's actually incredibly obnoxious to do these flashbacks every week, every single episode, because like Andrew Kimber said, it's almost like it's his own show. According to the flashbacks of the fifth season, Gordon Gamalt stated that the series will be exploring flashbacks from other characters' perspectives, such as Curtis Holt, along with the possibility of flash forwards. Bergman said, we would still want to, that they do like 10, 15, 20 something years in the future with Oliver's son and his daughter, but a little later on, Mia, her name is Mia, a little later on in the show though, and William, Oliver's son in the show. We want to make flashbacks part of our storytelling because we do like them. We like them in those non-flashback sort of what's going on in the present day. It's a part of the show. The series develops relationships triangles, like love triangles, characters and philosophy debates. For one example, every week Oliver will be facing a bad guy, but the truth is, his real nemesis is Detective Lance, who's trying to bring him into justice. His daughter's going to be caught in the middle because she loves and respects her father. She always believed in what he's believed, but at the same time, she's going to see this dark urban legend that's actually doing a lot of good. The kind of good that she wants to do something wrong as a legal aid of attorney. Learning from previous experiences working on television, the producers worked on identifying the major arc, mapping out how to accomplish it. Like I said, they did take inspiration from Chris Nolan. You don't believe me if you watch this 5 of season 1. One of the people that worked on the show will say that they were inspired by the Batman, the Christopher Nolan's Batman films. Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. I'm sorry. They strive to do it like Gilmore City, Big Billy Burger, a restaurant franchise introduced in the Superman comics. It appears in Arrow's Arrow's third episode and onward. There are also many characters in the DC universe who haven't gotten their due to TV and film. Their shows that have reached into the DC comics. Ahead of the 100th episode, talked about the commitment to quality the series strives for stating. We never skimmed on the writing, the production, and the post process going. This is going to be one of those stinkers we might lose or move on. Episodes have come in bad, we reshoot. Even season 5, we have some problems. We do some reshoots or pickups. On January 31st, 2019, CW renewed the series for an eighth season, which will be its final season for the series. Stephen approached Greg Berlanti toward the end of the sixth season about moving on following the expiration of his contract at the end of the seventh season. Because every actor that does a TV show has contracts, and if that contract is fulfilled, well, he had to do the show because Stephen had to do the show because he's signed on for it. You know, when actors are under contract, they can't just leave. They could have sued Stephen. I guess if his contract was up, but I guess he decided to sign on for a little more, which I'm glad he did. You know, if even if you have your issues with the show later on, Stephen Amell is great as Oliver. You know, at least I think. Their costume worn by Stephen Amell during the first season. I do like the costume. It does change throughout the series. In the first season, he knows as the Hood. Then they call him the Arrow. Then eventually Green Arrow. The series included costume design for Oliver's Vigilante, created by Colton Hogwood. He was a costume designer on movies like Chicago 2002, Alice in Wonderland, the remake. Yeah, and for like Tim Burton's Big Fish, Sleepy Hollow, Ed Wood, Wyatt Earp. So he's worked with Tim Burton a little bit. Joe versus the Volcano. Yeah, limited series of fortunate events. Mission Impossible 3. Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Snow White and the Huntsman. Dumbo remake. So I said he's worked with Tim Burton. The Little Mermaid remake, Beetlejuice, the sequel to Beetlejuice, that he did some costume design for. Yeah. According to Mill, it was important for the suit to be functional. The best way that he knew he could put the costume on by himself. If he put it on by himself, the people would buy it. In the second half of season 2, well, first Oliver in the first season, he's just got like green, like painting green on his eyes, and wearing his hood, covering his face. Anytime he's like telling somebody show, he's like talking down. Like I said, they're inspired by the Dark Knight trilogy because he does like a John Batman voice, you know, a little bit. You know, I can't do it like but he talks back. You know, he totally reminds me of doing his Batman voice. Or when he's Oliver Queen, he changes the voice to a more lighter tone. You know, but in the second season, he does don a mask. So, you know, more about the character in the comics. It's a big plot in an episode, and there really is a story behind that. On adding the mask, Kipper said it was something that we wanted to do because Oliver himself is stepping out of the dark and it being more of a symbol. He added that will allow the Arrow to interact with people who don't know his identity much more way before. Molly Mena put together 50 masks for the producers for the show, Green Arrow for Arrow's mask. What's so wonderful about the design that Maya, is very simple. Stephen was like, this is the right one. Oliver receives the mask from Barry Allen, who's ever created a mask that will help function and conceal his identity. Barry Allen, of course, the Flash. I think we will see him in the second season. It's not a crossover. It was an episode before Barry became the Flash, so Blake Neely did the music score for the show. I think, yeah, he did okay. Well, just for some movies, but let's see. Yeah, let's see. He did some additional music for Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, Something's Out to Give. Rest in peace, Diane Keaton, by the way, great actress. Very sad that she died. And Catwoman, he did some music, but I was not a fan of that score. And King Kong 2005, the Peter Jackson remake from 2005 that turns 20, I think, in December. RV, Ron Williams. I'm trying to find some TV series. I think he worked on The Flash and Supergirl and maybe Legends of Tomorrow. Okay, yeah, I'm right. Okay, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, The Flash. What about any other Batwoman? Ugh, I hate that show. And maybe Superman. No, could have been somebody else. I'm sorry. I just couldn't find Superman all of us on there. But this show was the beginning of the Arrowverse. Yeah, the start of it. the people that worked on it. I already talked about the creators. But nearly there's 8 seasons of the show, and the show has 100. It has 8 seasons, and it's 100. It has 170 episodes. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and review 170 episodes of each season. I'm sorry, folks. I just don't want to do that. Producers are Ben Saluki, who's also produced the Arrow and the Flash. Kito Shimna, is the name right? Glenn Winter, who also worked on Flash Supergirl. James Bermner. Uh, Filming locations include, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Glenn Winter was a cinematographer on the film, mainly for the Arrowverse, and Smallville, in the Flash and Supergirl. He and Gregory Milton, who worked on Game of Thrones, did some of the cinematography for that show. Paul Cursor did the editing for the show. A few of him and other editors. Yeah. The show has a lot of editors. I'm like, I don't think you need that many. They have a single camera for the show. Each episode is running either 40 or 43 minutes. Their work is CW. Yeah. For the cast, though, you have Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen, Arrow, Green Arrow, a billionaire playboy turned vigilante. Yeah, at first, Stephen Amell, like I said, he does a great job. First, you see his character in the show. Like I said, Oliver is a jerk. He just comes off as a dick, pretty much, when you first meet him. Just a billionaire playboy jerk who cheats on his girlfriend. And it's really mean what he did to Laura. He cheated on her with his sister, with his sister, her sister. He was having a relationship with his sister behind Laura's Laura's back, you know, Laura's back, behind her back, and but throughout the show, his father, spoiler alert, there'll be spoilers. His father does kill himself in the show, and his father, the Queens, they've done some pretty messed up things for being rich folks, and his father just so when we start with first season, Oliver doesn't really know who he is. He's trying to right the wrongs of his father. He makes this list to go to people. Oliver does kill. And a person, well, I did look at Green Arrow in the comics a little bit. I was reading Lord that he did kill. Even Batman killed when he started out. These characters, when they start out, all they want to do is put on the costume and go out to fight. Oliver, he's on a mission to, kind of like reclaim his soul, if you will, for his past. He's just trying to find redemption. He's, they do go dark side with the character a little bit. Yeah, Oliver does some questionable things. But throughout the show, he stops killing and he changes. But the first season, he's very dark. I think he has also PTSD because of being on the island. It's kind of for 5 years he's alone out there, and you kind of see in flashbacks where he's kind of like you see that playboy jerk that he was and getting his ass kicked at the time. Yeah, he becomes a badass when he's the Hood, the Green Arrow, but in these flashbacks he's not. He's just learning to become one. He learns how to fight from Slade Wilson, but he becomes better at the show, becomes more of a hero. But Stephen Amell, he was also in and did some other movies. Uh, well, anyway, yeah, I know he was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Turtles sequel, Out of the Shadows from 2016. I'm sorry, he just didn't work in that movie. Not for me, he didn't. Oh, he was an episode of NCIS Los Angeles, working with Chris O'Donnell and LL Cool J. But Stephen Amell did a good job. Kate Castle, she voices. She plays Laura Lance, aka Black Canary. And later on the show, since you find out about Earth 2 and the Flash, There's another Laurel Lance who was a Black Siren, well, a villain at first, but yeah, she's an attorney. At first, her father is Quentin Lance. He's like I guess you say, captain of the Star City Police Department. Yeah. And at first, yeah, she hates Oliver. She's really mad at him. But over time, the show they do get in a relationship. But over time, they also become friends because Oliver eventually goes for Felicity. But I do wish that her and Oliver had a relationship. I hate what they do with the character in season 4. It is cool when she becomes Black Canary, though. But she starts off as an attorney, not knowing Oliver's identity, of course. Colin Dunham as Tommy Merlin. He is Oliver's best friend. Uh, you do see him make guest appearances in some of the show, like season 8 through 8, guest, season 2, 3, and 6 as guest. He's the son of Malcolm Merlin, and he's also dating Laurel. Uh, yeah, David. Yeah, his father is Malcolm Merlin, who you find out is the Dark Archer, and he's got some real bad plans on the show. But I won't get into that. David Ramsey as John Douglas. Oh, let's see. Katie Cassidy. Movie. I think she was on in the night of the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. A beautiful woman, by the way. Beautiful, real beautiful girl. I like the actress. Black Christmas, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Can't think. Yeah, she was a new girl. Who's Lines Anyway? Just guest starring. And Legends of Tomorrow. And had a few guest appearances on The Flash as well. Or one guest appearance, I'm sorry. Colin Donald, though, who plays Tom Merlin. Yeah, he was in some other shows as well. Not that I've seen. David Ramsey is John Doe's partner. He's Oliver's partner. Competent bodyguard. Feels like his mentor. And he becomes part of a vigilante team known as Spartan. He's got like a black helmet, black jacket, wears a mask over his face, of course. Of course, he would make guest appearances in Superman and Lois, Supergirl, The Flash, or Batwoman, just guest appearances, or Dexter, or a Universal alternative universe version of Dylan in Superman and Lois. Yeah. Willie Holland as the Queen, Speedy, season 1 through 6, and season 8 guest. I guess you can say she kind of takes a break from the show, or season 7, yeah. She's Oliver's younger half sister, based on DC comic characters of the same name. Uh, Willie Holland, another beautiful actress, though. Yeah. At first, she's a girl that's lost her father and brother, and you find out she's doing drugs in the show. Yes, in the comics, you do find out Speedy, either it's Roy or her, they're actually doing drugs. They do play on that in the comics when I was watching the making of this show yesterday. But she's done some movies, I guess, and television series as well. Yeah, she later becomes Speedy. You know, kind of like taking over Roy's job basically. And Susan Thompson as Myra Queen, she's Oliver and Thea's mother. Yeah, she gets killed at the second season. I won't say how, but another beautiful actress as well. She's Oliver's mother. She's done some questionable things throughout the show. Even helping Malcolm Merlin a little bit, or basically helping him with a plan, which is enough to get her in jail. Like I said, the Queens have done some. As you watch the show, the Queens have done some things that are very questionable. Like, really? But anyway, Paul Blackthorne as Quentin Lance, season 1 through 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he is Laura Sarah Lance's father, and he's a police detective. Well, Ace becomes captain later on, I guess. But Quentin, first he's like a drinker. He's a bit of an asshole too. And his first goal in the season 1 is he hates Oliver. But throughout the show, when he finds out who Oliver really is, they somewhat become friends, and he becomes like a father figure to him, if you will. You know, because after he dies, Oliver tries to maybe go back in time and save him. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get to all that later. but I thought he did a great job in the show. Sorry, stupid phone. He was in shows like ER 24, Emily Baker Richards as Felicity Smoke. She's an AI technician. She's got a funny sense of humor. I like Felicity in the first few seasons, starting out with her, but as it went on, I kind of I'll say why I got annoyed about her, but I'll say it later. But I do like the actress, so she is again another beautiful actress as well. Mm. But she's got a sense of humor. She becomes Overwatch as when Oliver goes on mission. She's like on the computer saying, "Okay, Oliver, you need to go here and there." Like just keeping an eye on him. That's why they call her Overwatch. Yeah. And later, her and Oliver get into a relationship and eventually get married. Colton Haynes as Roy Harper Arsenal. You see him in season 2 and 3. Recurring on season 1 and 3 and guest in 8. Yeah. He is, him and Thea have a relationship, basically he grew up poor and he becomes like basically like he almost becomes like Oliver's Robin to his Batman, if you will. And his suit's pretty cool too. But he does make guest appearances. And then you have Mineo Bennett. Let's see who's actually Colton Haynes. Oh, he was in the 2015 movie San Andreas. Teen Wolf the movie, which I've never seen. CSI. Yeah. Wait a minute, Marvel. Marvel's Avengers. He voiced Thor in Marvel's Avengers Academy, a cartoon show I guess for kids. Slade Wilson. He's Oliver's former mentor on Lian Yu, the island. He becomes a masked mercenary known as Deathstroke. Yeah, he becomes the main villain in the second season. So he did a good job. He's in the TV series like Spartacus, and he's in also in the Hobbit trilogy as well. Yeah, John Barrowman. He was in Doctor Who. Torchwood. He plays Malcolm Merlin. I'm sorry, aka the Dark Archer. He's a wealthy businessman, the father of Tommy and Oliver's nemesis. He did become a guest star in a few episodes. Yeah, like I said he's a businessman as well, but he has a deep personal revenge that he's after, and he's just a guy that's really angry, and you find out why in the first season. But he's the villain in the first season. We'll get to that when we get to the first season, okay? I'm gonna call him as Curtis Holt, Mr. Terrific. You see him starting, I think, in season 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Yeah, he's the character that's a technology summit inventor, medal winning Olympus, who works with Felicity. Yeah, but this Mr. Terrific in this show, I'm gonna say right away, sucks. I look forward to seeing the new Superman movie. I don't care to see the new Superman movie, but I do want to see Mr. Terrific in that. But this Mr. Terrific, I'm sorry, Ego Column, he sucks. I thought he was terrible. Did not really care for this. No, it's not because he was black. I didn't care for him. Maybe I would care for him in another show, but in here I didn't too much, to be honest. That's just me. Josh Surgen as Adrian Chase. Prometheus, he's the villain in the fifth season. He starts as a new district attorney who is later revealed to be season five's antagonist, a serial killer seeking revenge against Oliver. I thought he did a good job. Yeah. He was in this series. He was in Scream 6. Rick Conzel as Renee Wild Dog. He's a discharged Marine who joins Oliver's vigilante team. Yeah, he wears a hockey mask like Jason Voorhees, and this actor. Let's see, was he in Coach Carter? Let's see. He was in Carter Dundee in Los Angeles, playing Gangbanger in that. Oh, he was in The Rookie with Dennis Quaid. He was in that. Coach Carter. Oh yeah, okay, he was one of the players in that. Yeah. Who I think tries to hit Samuel Jackson in that movie. Yeah. And Julian Hargrave as Diana Dark, Black Canary. I liked her. Some people probably didn't, but I did. She's an undercover detective of Central City who later joins Oliver's team, taking on for Laurel the Black Canary mantle. Again, another beautiful actress as well. She was in Dolphin Tale 2. Kirk Avenue as Ricardo Diaz. Let's see, I think he was. Oh, he was in Dawn of the Apes. I remember him in that. He plays Ricardo Diaz, aka the Dragon. He's the villain in season 6. He's a drug lord who relates from reincarnation, who terrorizes Star City. He tortures Oliver. Sia Shamok as Amika Queen Green Arrow. She's Oliver's other half sister, um, who takes over the Green Arrow mantle after Oliver's imprisonment. But Amika Queen, she's the villain in the season 7. Yeah, we see her. Yeah, Catherine McNorton plays Mia Smoke. We're 36 minutes in. Okay, in the video. I mean, sorry. Catherine Moak plays her. She's Oliver and Felicity's daughter in the Flash Force set in the 2040s. She was promoted to series regular for season 8. Get another cute actress as well. Ben Lewis as an adult William Clayton. Oliver Samantha Clayton's son in the Flash Force in the 2040s. Joseph David Jones as an adult Connor Hawk. Ben Turner's biological son. Diggle's adopted son. And agent of Night Watch. Lorman Gorn. Lord. Yeah, from the Crisis episode, The Monitor and Elseworlds. I thought that was pretty good. But I didn't care for the way they did that Crisis episode. Yeah. Oh, I will go ahead and say right now, I will not be talking about. There are crossover episodes in the Arrow season. I mean, as the show goes on, Arrow season 1 through 8, there are crossover episodes with the Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, and even Black Lightning. But I will not be talking about those. I will only be talking about Arrow, Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, his character, his world, his show. I'm just going to focus on something that crossovers are going to be later. So the focus is just going to be on Green Arrow, the Arrow show itself. Yeah, no crossover episodes with the Flash or Supergirl or Legends of Tomorrow. Well, there's an episode. It's called Brave and the Bold of season 3, but I'm not going to get to that. I'll review that. Yeah, I figured to save that for a review. I just want to focus on talking about the show itself. Anyway, speaking of the show itself, the series follows. Well, hold on. It premiered on the CW network from October 10th, 2012. It started the first season. Each season you get special features, making features, gag reels, deleted scenes, comic book panels. Because the cast they will go to Comic Con and each year go to Comic Con and get pictures with the cast and talk about the show and the people that worked on the show. And of course, the show had the spinoff. The second spinoff was The Flash. But anyway, what Arrow is about, what the TV show is about, is that the series follows billionaire playboy Oliver Queen, who spent 5 years shipwrecked on the mysterious island Leonia before returning home to Sterling City. And throughout the show, Oliver, like I said, he's on Lian for 5 years. That's what that one's called. Comes back, he like I say, has a mission. He has to become something else, and he becomes the Hood at first. Throughout the show, like I said, he's a vigilante, and he kills, and Oliver can do all these moves. Now, again, the thing is about him, he doesn't have superpowers like the Flash. Flash has super speed, and is almost like invincible with the Flash. But Flash can, Supergirl basically is invincible because of her powers, but unlike them, he doesn't have none of their powers. Oliver is just a normal guy, in a suit. But because of his father's dark past, for some of the stuff that his father did, and the person he was, first his mission is just to save his father, is to, redeem his soul, if you will. But throughout the series, he starts to become a symbol, becomes a hero himself, and even stops killing. But this takes time. He's got enemies and foes to deal with, fighting bad guys, the usual cliche of what superheroes do. But my issues with the show is beginning season 5 with the season 4. I love the team in season 4. I like Roy Harper, Arsenal. I hated that he left. You know, that he left the show, and so did Thea, which I hated. When they brought on these new characters, season 5, I was just like, I just started caring. But then there's some things I liked in season 5, 6, and even 7, and especially I did like season 8 with Mia becoming, the new Green Arrow. But I'm gonna talk about the seasons here, each if I talk about them. So anyway, I guess I'll go ahead. But maybe better time is any. I'll give you the plots of each season, but not now. Not now. But let me go ahead and show you guys the all 8 seasons here. Well, I have a pen over there on my little shelf over there. I have a black pen over there, which I'm going to use to write down, each episode I like of the show, starting with season 1. Well, let me go ahead and show you the disc and stuff for the show. Hey guys, let me show you the disc. Okay, you might have seen the movie. All right, here we got Arrow season 1. Yeah, just showing you some pictures. I just like showing you guys the pictures. I think it's cool to do that. And here are the discs, all 5 discs of the show. And the show, season 1 has about 23 episodes on 5 discs. And this is a booklet, very cool shot. And then characters for this season. That is Oliver, Laurel, John, Tommy, Thea, Moira, and Detective Quentin Lance. Yeah, and these are some pictures of the episodes right here. Just one, it just tells you about the episodes. I'll show you a little more. Yeah, you can just read all what all the episodes are about. Yeah, and it also helps if you lose your place in an episode. You're like, oh, I need to go. So you just got this booklet here. So I recommend keeping the booklet though. They probably don't have it on Blu-ray. That's why for DVD, at least for DVD. I got this little cool booklet, booklet. Yeah, yeah. But that's. And I did show you some pictures, a little bit of the show. And again, I did talk about the Flash and Supergirl. For the Flash, if you just look me up, if you say like Leave McNally the Flash, then you'll see me talking about all 5 seasons of the show. I will add them to the DC playlist as well. And same thing with Arrow. Probably may just go ahead and start this TV show collection video. But anyway, season 2. I'm talking for playlist. Yeah. The complete second season, which is my favorite season. Yeah. And with season 2, you have 23 episodes on 5. Again, that has all 5 discs on it here. And I like this booklet. I really love this poster. All the characters here. Yeah, love the poster. Really good poster for the show, I think. Yeah, and then the characters, you know, Oliver, Steven, Thea, Deathstroke, Quentin, Myra. Yeah. And the list of all some pictures here I'll show you. You feel free to pause the video if you want. There's some cool pictures. Yeah. A little more pictures right there. Yeah. But I love this booklet right here. And that is season 2. And then we have season 3. So here's that broken book. Oh, sorry. If you see Green Arrow and the Flash, I'm gonna definitely do a review on that. Like, I did talk about Flash season 1, but I did not review the Flash faces Arrow versus Arrow episode. I will review that eventually. Yeah, but I just want to focus on talking about Green Arrow right now with the show. So, yeah, And for season 3, you have 23 episodes again, and all on 5 disc here. And again, here is the booklet, and some of the characters in the back, like Oliver, Felicity, Roy, Thea, Malcolm, Quentin, John, John Diggle. Yeah. And you also have Brandon Routh coming in this season. Before going to do the TV show DC Legends of Tomorrow, he would start in season 3. Yeah. Like I said, you do have Grant Gustin and guest starring as Barry Allen the Flash in this The Brave and the Bold episode. As I'm trying to look, yeah, The Brave and the Bold. Yeah, we'll not be. I'll be reviewing that episode instead. And you also have Daniel Panabaker, called Vito, guest starring as Caitlin Snow and Cisco Ramon. Yeah, just guest starring, and that is the third season of Arrow. And then season 4, I was lucky enough to get this last year. I think a couple years ago back in Georgia. That is the Green Arrow season 4. Sorry, Arrow season 4. But I think this was the season where people started, getting let down by the show. Or was it season 3? I'm not really sure. But I thought it was season 4 because this is where you have Damien Dark, Norm Macdonald. I think his name's Norm Macdonald. If you probably remember him from Captain America's Dum Dum Dugan, he's in the show playing the character Damien Dark. Damn thing wants to come out. But this season has 23 episodes. And I do like this season, I'm not going to lie. And the 5 discs. And the booklet for the show. Booklet for Laura, Felicity, John Diggle, Malcolm Merlin. I can't really see a good picture there. There's Damien Dark on the picture there. And yeah, you do have the Flash Legends of Day Part 1 of the epic crossover event, which I would not be reviewing that. Remember, no crossovers, just the Green Arrow stuff. Yeah, yeah. Talk about all that first. So, do not expect me talking about the crossovers. Those will be saved up for reviews someday. I mean, not be this year, but it will be. And then, a couple more seasons, guys. I know. And then, season 5. Yeah. Where for me, this kind of was let down by season 5. Just what they somewhat did with it. And season 5, of course, has 23 episodes on 5 discs. Oh, I do like the color blue, though. And I do love the cover of Oliver, just standing there and, just with his bow and arrow. Yeah. And you have more pictures of the characters: Adrian Chase, Quentin Lance, uh, Mr. Terrific, Curtis. Yeah. Yeah. And some pictures. And these are the episodes of the season. Yeah. Like I said, just in case you ever miss one, make sure you're reading these episodes. Just make sure you don't miss one. I always do. Because I always like to know where I'm at with the show. But that's season 5. Just 3 more, guys. Yeah. But I will be talking about each season in different parts, starting with season 1, of course, and to season 8. But anyway, season 6. This is probably my favorite poster, though. Oliver just sitting there, Green Arrow just, about to shoot an arrow. That was pretty cool. We do get Deathstroke coming back in here, kind of more as a hero. Oh yeah, the flashbacks by this point, I don't think they had any more flashbacks. I think in season 5 they started that. So with season 6, they stopped with the flashbacks, thankfully. But I do think they forward to the future, which I didn't care much for that sometimes. I'm like, you're just giving me too much information. This show relies heavily on that a little too much, I think. And again, this has 20 episodes. The disc, all the 5 discs. Sorry, 5 discs. Yeah, no pictures of the characters though, which I was disappointed with that. You do have another crossover. Let's see. Oh, Crisis on Earth X Part 2. Yeah, Darren Barry and Oliver's. Barry and Oliver. That's so freaking weird for me to say. Barry and the Irish wedding. But we were not talking about that, where they're fighting Nazis. I think it was season 5 where they're fighting against aliens. Again, crossover. Yeah. But with this season, they fight Nazis, but these Nazis are like them, more like evil versions of Supergirl. And then Green Arrow fall in love, which is it is a little weird. And then 2 more seasons, guys. Season 7 of Arrow, where Oliver goes to jail. Which I didn't mind that. I know people maybe complain about that, but I was okay with it because, you know, Oliver's done some things and he's a vigilante, and the vigilante they're probably going to put in jail, of course. Alright. And I miss that they don't have no pictures of characters, well. And this season has 22 episodes. They don't hit the mark, but that's alright. No, I'm just kidding. It's a bad, stupid joke there. A little bit of pictures of characters here. And the episodes of this 1, 2, and 3, 4 and 5. Yeah, the booklet. I don't know why they didn't take no. I mean, I think my favorite poster looking one or booklet or cover is the season 6 one, but just added this one. That's pretty cool. Yeah, make the booklet look cool. You know, once you start making it cool, I think it loses its cool. I'm just saying something stupid. And then Arrow, the 8th and final season, which only has, I believe, 10 episodes. Sorry. Yeah. Which I have not watched. And you only have 2 discs. I'm sorry, 3 discs, and you have 3 discs, in each episode. Yep, bit of pictures there. Yep. And season 8 is the final season of the show, and I do like this poster. Very cool. Yeah. But anyway, guys, that was all 8 seasons of Arrow. I just wanted to show you some of the pictures and some of the booklets and stuff. Really cool how they did it. Your face is back up. Want to get it the right way because I don't want the seasons I want to talk about. But anyway, guys. So yeah, but I definitely look forward to my Arrow. If you've seen this TV series, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. And there will be spoilers when I talk about each season. So if you've never seen the show, do not watch these videos. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, like I said, there's 8 seasons and 170 episodes. The show started in 2012 and ended in 2020. About 5 years ago, I think the show ended. Yeah, 5 years ago. And of course, it did create the Arrowverse with the Flash, Supergirl. Even though Stargirl and Superman and Lois, or Black Lightning's probably, well, Black Lightning's probably considered it. I don't know, or Superman and Lois is, but our Gotham is probably the reason why Gotham even came to be is because of Arrow. And Smallville is the reason these shows happen. Yeah, which I get it. You wanted to do something a little different with the show. Yeah, and I'll talk about the episodes and the plots of the seasons as well. Yeah, storyline, plot, synopsis of the seasons. Yeah, I'll keep the episodes in here. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you will see pictures of the show as well, depending on what episode I like, I guess. Alright, keep a list of the show, yep. Alright, guys. Well, anyway, what are we going to get started with? Alright, well, guys, this is my TV show collection. Let's make sure again. I do a TV show collection on my channel here, on my other channel, that I did on this channel. Yeah, and like I said, you can see the Flash right there. Supergirl's got to be on here too. Uh, Supergirl as well. I did. So, if you want to my, if you want to see those TV shows, and Gotham as well. With the Flash, I only took about 5 seasons because I lost interest when season 5 hit. I don't care to talk about season 9s of it unless somebody pays me to. If somebody wants to pay me to talk about Supergirl season, I did talk about 4 seasons only. But if you want to pay me to talk about season 5 and 6, I'll do it. I'm serious. I also talked about the Flash 90 show. I will add this to the. Maybe it's about time to start adding this stuff to the playlist for DC stuff videos as well. But I don't know about that today. Or maybe sometime. Don't really need to rush it. But yeah, Justice League was the last show. So yes, this is my TV show collection. This was my TV show collection. Just showing my TV show collection, showing them off, showing off the disc and stuff. And with Arrow, again, this is part of the superhero marathon because these shows are part of it. Arrowverse. Regardless of some issues I have with the show, whatever. Regardless of some issues, they're still superhero stuff. These are still DC comic characters. They're still superheroes. And same thing with I'm gonna talk about the Marvel shows as well. I'm gonna probably do that last. Yeah. Well, I'm also gonna talk about the Incredible Hulk. But when I get to Marvel shows, I just want to go ahead with Arrow stuff because since I started with the Flash and Supergirl, I figured just go ahead and start with Arrow because Arrow. I need to talk about the show because this was the first of the Arrowverse show, so I figured to talk about this. But anyway, guys, so stay tuned for the next video, which will be my thoughts. I'm sorry, say it again. My thoughts slash favorite episodes of Arrow season 1. So we will be talking about this with the next so the first season. You know, I will be watching on 20 episodes. It could take me a couple of days or a bit longer, depending on if I get jobs, another job soon eventually. But Arrow season 1, this will be the beginning of it all. So stay tuned for Arrow season 1. I might start watching this today actually, and I got the whole weekend off. So yeah, for work. So hopefully I can watch the show, and I can come home from work too and watch the show as well. That's the good thing I like about having a job. That I can come home, watch the show, and on a day off I can probably talk about the show, the season when I have a day off. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the show afterwards because, or maybe after work if I'm in the mood for it. But I always write the episodes down. I will be writing down my favorite episodes, like I said, on my paper here of Arrow. I know my writing sucks, but this will be for Arrow season 1. Yeah, my writing is just not very good, but that's how I'm going to do it. Just write down all favorite seasons. And same thing with the other shows too. If I run out of paper, I can always go to Walmart and buy more. But stay tuned for the next guys, as we will hit the mark on Arrow season 1. Thoughts, favorite slash favorite episodes of Arrow season 1. Did you get it? Hit the mark? Yeah, it's a questionable mark. I'm just saying stupid shit now. You know, I'm looking at my face. I have something on my face. I just don't have no food on my face. Sorry. Anyway, guys, if you've seen Arrow, though, what do you think of Stephen Amell as a character? What do you think of the show, in your opinion? What is your favorite season of the show? And hope you look forward to me talking about Arrow season. Talking about Arrow, all these seasons. Again, starting with season 1. So, season 1 is next video. Stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.